ko yung, baka dito, baka magkaiba kami ng positioning, no? That 50% of migrant workers' premiums will be paid by the national government. Kasi hindi nila nakahabol yung employer sa ibang bansa, di ba? At nakupad yung mga employer na yung foreigners. Thereby, government will act as their de facto employer share contributor. So, dito sa amendment na ito, aakuin ng gobyerno yung kalahati. Bakit hindi magawa sa informal sector? Okay? So, that's my first point. Yung nag-hold ng ating informal economy ay mukhang parang may blind spot yung ating law at yung amendment. 2, the UHC law's income floor. So, meron tayong income ceiling, may floor. So, merong ceiling at floor. Yung scheme niyan burdens the poorest while benefiting the rich. Bakit? Consider this. When people's income reaches 100,000, yung mga ilan, wala sa atin dito ng may income na 100,000. Oo, ang mga ito. Pero yung meron, ay pareho na. Because may ceiling siya, kahit na 500,000 na siya o 1 million, pareho lang. Ang ibabayad niya ay yung ceiling. Samantalang, alam natin, yung contribution sa poorest, ito naman yung poorest, no? For the poor, their contribution is fixed at a fictional floor of 10,000 regardless if they earn less. So may 10,000 ka, may sabi natin 500 yan, no? Kung food. Pag ikaw ay nag-earn ng 7,000 o kaya ay 5,000, ang babayaran mo ay yung binabayaran ng 10,000. Diba? So, anong klase ito? Equity requires that the income floor be eliminated. Pwede bang gawin ito, Kongreso, sa pag-isipan niyo? Number 3, the UHC law leaves, ito very women, unprotected women in live-in relationships who perform home care. Yung mga housewife ng bahay nag-aalaga ng mga live-in relationship. So medyo 1 in 5 in 25. Malaki siya. So, ito yung sa bata, the UHC law is progressive in protecting all children regardless of legitimacy status. So, kahit yung mga hindi talaga anak or mga illegitimate children ay pino-consider ng batas natin na beneficiaries. They are beneficiaries of the parents kung yung tatay nila ay paid work. However, parents who stay home and care for them, whether lalaki or babae, most of them women, by the way, cannot be registered as beneficiaries unless they are formally married. Kailangan itong mga babaeng ito, kailangan mag-apply on their own. Although yung baby nila ay covered na ng newborn package, no? Pero sila na nag-aalaga, hindi sila. So equity requires that caregiver parents of enrolled children in PhilHealth must be recognized as also beneficiaries of working PhilHealth members regardless of the marital status. Care work is real work and must be covered by social protection. So, ang aming ending ay addressing these 3 issues will reduce the contribution burden of poor people by a larger amount and with stronger justifications, for example, fairness and equity, than the proposed rate of reduction of 3.5. So, ang sinasabi niya may 3.5 naman. Kaya lang consider this. So, 5% ang babayaran nila, di ba? Kung ibababa nila yan, magiging 3.5%. Pero kung babayaran ng gobyerno yun ng half, yung 5% magiging 2.5. Ang 2.5 ay ang 3.5 as mas malaki kaysa sa 2.5. No? So 2.5 ay mas malaki yung makikinabangan nila. Attention to these issues through concrete proposals in the UHC Amendment Bill will make equity and social justice a transformative principle in poor people's lives. Konkreto, kung may konkretong provisions, but also in the economic development, health and development of the nation as a whole. But attention means deferring the bill, kahit temporarily lang, to accommodate discussion, not just practically, but also as a commitment to the democratic process. No? To accommodate discussion, debate, and more contributions towards making this amended UHC bill more responsive, relevant, and equitable. So, litaan statement, and I end here. Thank you very much.